Lucky Luciano was the father of organized crime here in America.
Before him, mob crime was just crime. It didn't become organized until Lucky Luciano came along.
Luciano was born Salvatore Lucania on November 24, 1897 in Sicily, but came to New York in 1906. As a schoolboy, Luciano already acted like he was in the mob. He demanded younger kids pay him their lunch money as protection.
Lucky Luciano met Meyer Lansky and Bugsy Siegel and became involved in criminal activities with them and with Joe the Boss Masseria.
They became involved in prostitution rings, extortion, blackmail, and bootlegging. In fact, Lucky Luciano very quickly became one of the big six in bootlegging on the East Coast.
In 1931, Lucky Luciano facilitated the killing of the two mob bosses in New York, Joe Masseria and Mr. Maranzano.
With his rivals removed, Luciano became New York's top mob boss and began dramatically changing how the mob operated.
As part of Luciano's big picture concept, he formed the Commission, which brought together the 5 crime families of New York, as well as families outside of New York, including the Capone organization in Chicago.
Lucky Luciano's novel approach to organizing organized crime was to build a model like a business. The commission functioned as a board of directors, and it was their job to quell turf wars, to handle disputes among warring gangsters.
If there is such a thing as gangster chic, Lucky Luciano certainly embodied it. He wore elegant suits, silk shirts, and handmade shoes. He also always had a beautiful girl on his arm. He enjoyed hobnobbing with celebrities. He even lived in the Waldorf Towers, where many celebrities lived.
In 1936, Luciano's high life ended with a targeted attack by New York Special Prosecutor Thomas Dewey, who managed to convict Luciano on made-up prostitution charges, getting him 30 to 50 years in prison.
During World War II, Lucky Luciano aided U.S. naval intelligence by giving the okay to his dock workers to talk to them, to be the eyes and ears for naval intelligence.
For his act of patriotism, he was released from jail. This happened in February of 1946, and it was on the condition that he returned to Italy and never set foot in the U.S. again.
Luciano didn't stay in Italy long, and soon traveled to Havana, Cuba to try to set up a worldwide drug smuggling operation. But the U.S. government pressured the Cubans to force Luciano to leave. Lucky Luciano spent the rest of his life in Naples, Sicily, and died of a heart attack on January 26, 1962.